Okay, we are going to be covering the y equals button, probably one of the most used buttons on the graphing calculator, one of my favorites as an algebra teacher. Not sure how much this will help the geometry students, but algebra 2, obviously this is huge. The y equals button's at the top. You can see the light is kind of draining it out in this image over here, but I blew this up. The y equals button's right here. It can graph any equation, solve for y, or any function set equal to f of x, or I could change that, or g of x, or h of x. Any function can be graphed using this button. It's pretty straightforward to use. I'm sure you've done it 100 times. You press y equals. I'm going to clear all these out. You type the function, and then you press right over here, graph, and then you get a graph. It's pretty easy. Let's play. All right, so here's an example of, again, this is from the California Department of Education. Don't want to break any copyright rules here. I took this off their state test released item. Which best represents the graph of y equals 2x minus 2? Now I know how to do this. I know y equals mx plus b. But just to show you, y equals, press y equals, I type in the function. Again, y equals, type in the function, and then I press graph. Now you'll notice mine graphed very quickly. I'll go over that in the Windows section. It's right here. That determines how fast it graphs. You're probably used to seeing this. And now I can use that graph to see, all right, which of these looks the closest. Well, you can see this is the only one that intercepts the x-axis, or excuse me, the y-axis below origin. Okay, this one does, but it's going in the wrong direction. This one's going in the wrong direction. This one's intercept is above origin, so I know the answer is A. Which best represents the graph of negative x squared plus 3? All right, so we're dealing with quadratics. This could be an Algebra 1 or an Algebra 2 question. So I'm just going to type it in exactly as it reads, negative x squared plus 3, and I hit graph. Okay, now you can see we have both of these graphed at the same time. You can do one of two things. You can clear this out, or you can actually, using these buttons, using these highlighted, if I hit enter and turn that off, when I graph this, it will only graph the function y2. Okay? Now this is, I mean, can it get any easier? Let's look at this. On comparing these graphs, it's obvious that this is wrong. This one doesn't have x-intercepts. Neither does this one. This one's the wrong direction. And here we go. You have to test quickly. Now, I understand. You should know this. You should know that plus 3 is our c value, and it's the y-intercept. You could you could factor out the negative, making it x squared minus 3, and then make that a difference of squares. It's x plus root 3 times x minus root 3. Find the roots, take the square root of 3, find out that it's 1.7, and these are correct. Or you can press y equals, type it in, and hit graph. It's up to you. I don't know. How many times does the graph this intersect the x-axis? And again, what this question is trying to get you to use is the discriminant. So b squared minus 4ac will tell me how many times it crosses the x-axis. If this value underneath is positive, it's going to be twice. If it's 0, it's once. If it's, well, come on now. This is a second degree. There's 2 roots. Can't be 3. So I can do this calculation. I can do negative 2 squared minus 4 times 2 times 3 gives me 4 minus, let's see, 8, 24, and I get the square root of negative 20. Now, since it's less than 0 or it's imaginary, it's going to have no roots. Or again, I can go down here, 2x squared minus 2x plus 3. I'm going to turn off the other graph by hitting enter, and then hit graph. How many times does it cross? None. It's all about saving time. You can do this, or you can type it in and be done a little bit quicker. All right? The next thing I'm going to go over is adjusting your Windows settings. Good luck on your finals.